Matt O'Reilly has completed his 30 million record transfer to Brighton Hove Albion, and hopefully for the last time, Folk Football have to talk about it. Welcome back to the channel. It's done. It's over. 25 million, 5 million in add-ons. Can Celtic replace him? Well, it's been a busy day for Celtic. It's a busy day all around. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that he's a rat, he stabbed us in the back, this, that, whatever. I mean, he's just a guy trying to further his career at the end of the day.
I don't get the whole stabbing in the back rhetoric, man. I mean, at the end of the day, we know where Scottish football's at. You've got to be delusional if you think that Celtic are keeping their best players till the end of their career or until they're no longer in their prime. When you look at someone like a Kyogo, I think because of his age, I think he could realistically... He's got signed for you. I think he could. Yeah, I think Kyogo could stay at Celtic for another 3 years, and Celtic could get the best out of him. But when you look at Matt O'Reilly, man, it was just clear that this guy was going to move on to bigger and better things. That's just the way the Scottish Premiership is. I mean, it's always been that way for as long as I can remember now. I mean, and you know what? Even back in the day, like even when the best players came to Scotland, it was kind of towards the end of their career. The world class players were never really come to Scotland in their prime. It is what it is. But some players came in their prime and maybe they weren't world class and became world class. Like, when Henrik Larsson came to Celtic, no one was saying he was world class.
Yeah, he became world class.
They might have proved at Celtic he was world class. Then what happened? You know, he moved. So it is what it is. It's always been the case. I certainly wouldn't hold it against Matt O'Reilly.
No, I wouldn't.
But it's not just a Scottish thing. It's like majority of the leagues understand and accept that players will move on. There's probably only a few leagues out there that can actually believe that here, we can keep this player for the entirety of his career or this player won't move.
No, I agree. But when you look at it, people are, why has he went to Brighton? At Atlanta and Atletico Madrid didn't want to pay the 30 million. It's that simple.
Well, here's a...
They're both bigger clubs than Brighton, but they didn't want to pay it.
Well, I mean, here's a simple thing. Brighton are actually a good team. Brighton are a better team than Celtic. If Brighton played Celtic competitively 10 times, Brighton would beat Celtic more than they would beat them. If you put Brighton in the Scottish Premiership, I think they'd win it more convincingly than Celtic. If you put Celtic in this English Premiership, I don't think they'd finish as high as Brighton. And you've got the money as well. They're playing in the Premier League. Look at the world-class players that he's going to be up against. Look at the teams he's going to be playing against. This guy is going to be playing against Arsenal, City, United, Liverpool, week in, week out, instead of having to travel up to Dingwall and Ross County. No offence, but I mean, I think we can all see why he made this move. It's like, I don't know if people are just fucking brain dead, but see when they sit there and go, why is he going to Brighton? They're not a bigger club than Celtic. Aye, well, you know what? Southampton wasn't a bigger club than Celtic. Why'd Virgil van Dijk go there? And look, that worked out pretty well for him, didn't it?
Well, it did. Got the big move to Liverpool.
Is Matt O'Reilly going to Brighton thinking that's the be-all and end-all? Is he going to Brighton thinking that, well, that's me, I'm a Brighton player for the rest of my life? Or is he going to Brighton thinking, hold on here, getting a huge pay increase, getting to play in one of the best leagues in the world, getting to play against some of the best teams in the world every week, getting to play against some of the best players in the world, and here, if I perform well, I could get my move in a few years' time. So no fucking brainer. Yet these dumb bastards will come on. Why are they going to Brighton? But we are a bigger club than Brighton and we won more trophies than Brighton. I mean, fucking get a grip, man. Doted bastards.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you.
Yo, Hearts are a bigger club than Brighton, but man, see if fucking Brighton wanted Lawrence Shankland, do you think he's going to be like, nah, man, Hearts have won more trophies. We're a capital club. I'm staying here. What the fuck? He'd be like, right, pack my bags, get my sandals, I'm way down to the seaside. It's as simple as that, man.
Does no want to go to Portobello Beach? No?
Don't think so.
Doesn't want to do that, but yeah, it is what it is. You're right.
No, but you're not amazed at how many people are still dumbfounded over this and they can't grasp why a player would leave Celtic to go to Brighton?
No. Brighton is a stepping stone, but for me, there is more chance of Matt O'Reilly getting a bigger move for Brighton than there is from Celtic. I'm not saying he couldn't get a big move from Celtic, but I just think with the Premier League exposure, look at Caicedo, look at McAllister, look at Cucurella. They've all went on to Liverpool and Chelsea. I don't think. I mean, Chelsea might because they're just retarded these days. But see the top three in England, which is City, Liverpool, and Arsenal. When Arsenal signed Tierney, let's not lie here, they were awful. Arsenal were really poor. Still a big
They were
club.
going through a rebuilding phase, I think.
Arsenal, I don't think Arsenal now are signing anyone from the Scottish League. Man City, though, what I will say is they're going to sign Kyogo, but Kyogo's
Yeah, but it's a special type of sign, isn't it? They purposely came out and they said that they were looking for someone that is a bit older and someone who's good but not great, that doesn't want to play all the time. So it's not like Man City are going to Celtic to try and find, their next superstar. They were going to Celtic, apparently looking at Kyogo as a possibility for someone to fill a role.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference there.
Yeah, there's a big difference there. O'Reilly.
Brighton aren't getting Matt O'Reilly to come and fill a role and, potentially come off the bench for a few games.
No.
Brighton are obviously looking at Matt O'Reilly to be, a star player in their team, which he very well could, go on to be.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the trajectory of his career. I don't think it'll go tits up, but there's one thing he's not blessed with, and it's pace. Could that affect him in the Premier League? We'll have to wait and see. He's not going to replicate 19 goals, 18 assists down in England. I'd be sure if he did, fucking hell, what moves is he going to get next summer?
One thing he's never really done for me is perform well in Europe. Now, I'm not saying he's never had decent games.
Well, he's not going to have any problems with that at Brighton, is he?
But, I don't recall, one standout game where you're thinking, oh, he was exceptional there. And, where's O'Reilly carrying Celtic to a win in Europe? That's what I haven't seen, and I think that's. People say, why don't players get the big moves for Scotland? How many players have actually done that though in Scotland when playing for Rangers or Celtic? How many players have stood up and put in a great performance?
Well, I think Bassey and Aribo, they got those moves because of their European performances. No one went, look, they were a part of a team that bottled the league. That's why we bought them. Ajax signed Bassey because of what he did in the Europa League. It's that simple. For Celtic, yeah, it's alright Sutton saying, why don't you stay for another year of Champions League football? But if he stays for another year and does nothing across the 8 games, does that weaken him? Does that make him look, he's got 8 more Champions League games under his belt? What does it do for him?
Yeah, and it could also mean Celtic get a lower offer in the future if he doesn't perform as well. So it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Good player. Done well in the Scottish Premiership, won a shitload of trophies, can't ask for much more. Now he's going to Brighton, and will he win any trophies there?
Probably not.
Who knows? But
Brighton's got a good team, very good team. They're 6 out of 6, aren't they, Brighton, this season? They beat United, and I believe the first week they won 2-0 against Everton. So
I wouldn't say Brighton's beyond the possibilities of European football. I think they could earn a top 7 finish.
No, absolutely. Why not? Honestly, easily could. They did it not last season, the season before. They did alright last year in Europe, so we'll have to wait and see.
Some people talk about Brighton as if they're a yo-yo club. It's like, how can you make that suggestion? So ever since they came up, they've been a top half team. I think one year they finished 11th. Oh, God forbid, they missed out in the top 10 by a point. But for me, people talk about Brighton as if he could end up in the Championship relegated. There's no signs of that.
He will go for double what they've signed him for here. If he leaves, I'm convinced it.
Anyway, guys,
automatically he's valued at about 50 now.
Yep, let us know your opinions down below. Do you think O'Reilly's a traitor, or are you happy to see him get this big move? And I wonder who'll be next out of Celtic. More importantly, I wonder who'll be next in. Be interesting to see how long it takes Celtic to get this Matt O'Reilly replacement. And here, we're running out of days. Let's be honest, transfer window closes, 5 days now?
6.5 million bid earlier though for Augsburg midfielder, so they're not waiting about. Anyway, till next time. Peace.